Do you often disagree with people?
No, I like to listen to what people have to say. I don't disagree with people.
I disagree sometimes, but I try to be as, understanding and agreeing as possible.
No, I tend to agree. I mean, even if it might be something that's bad for them.
I honestly usually disagree with people because I like being right all the time.
I love to disagree with people. It's fun.
I always disagree with everybody, pretty much.
I often disagree with people, and I know there's people out there that disagree with me.
I used to have a friend that disagrees with everything I said.
My best friend usually disagrees with me when it comes to girl topics. He's more the cheater, and I'm more the, I stay faithful.
Me and my friends usually fight for the last word. We always want to be right.
Everyone's not the same. We all have different things that's going on in our head, and different views or opinions, want to do different things.
You're not always right, but you think you are.
I try to support them as much as possible, but I still have my opinion behind it.
If I truly think that they are false about it, I will stand my right. I will make sure that I'm right.
Are you the kind of person who always has to be right? Like Kenny?
What? No way.
Yes, absolutely. Remember the other day when you were trying to tell me that the Eagles were better than the Giants? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The Giants are the best team in football.
No. I'm definitely right on that one.
No, Kenny. No, that's just your opinion.
Yeah, it's my opinion, but it's right.
Disagreements are inevitable.
Just like people, they come in all shapes and sizes.
The problem isn't the disagreement. It's how we resolve it, or agreeing to disagree.
I disagree with you, so you're wrong. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Kenny.
And I'm Jess.
And this is RealfaithTV. We all come from different environments, such as our family or origin.
Neighborhood, state, or a totally different place on the globe.
With all the possible combinations of people and their philosophies and beliefs, failing to see eye to eye is going to happen.
Our spotlight guest today is Kayla. She'll tell us that although she does like to be right,
she does listen to what other people have to say.
We'll hear from her a little later in the show, as well as find out how the teens on the street settle their disagreements.
But first, let's meet our studio guests and find out if they often disagree with others.
Okay, they are Phil, Nick, Vince, Chris, Jackie, Matt, and Danielle.
So do you guys disagree with others?
I try to avoid conflict at all costs. I do not like disagreement. I don't like disagreeing with others. And if it comes to the fact that I have to stand my ground on something, I'm really firm. And I think I'm kind of like one of the teens on the street. I'll stand my beliefs, but I'm not gonna push them on you unless you ask. So.
I'm completely different from you. People need to know that I'm right, and I need to be right all the time. That's just how I am, I guess. So a lot of people here know that too. We were messing around before, but it's definitely true. I love being right.
I'm gonna have to side with Jess on this one. I'm much more I don't like getting into arguments, especially if it's gonna hurt my relationship with someone. But if it's a serious thing that I have strong beliefs for, I'm not gonna back down for that.
I'm kind of like both of you because I really don't like conflict, but when an argument comes up, I'm gonna be right. And I plan on being right.
Yeah, I'm just like Kenny. You can ask any of my friends, ask Jackie. We get in arguments all the time over little things because I always have to be right.
I don't like arguments or conflict, but when they come up, I always stand my ground.
I know conflicts arise in my house a lot, and we may not be the one to start it, but we know that we have to be the one to finish it, and we have to have the last word. It's a matter of pride.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But when it comes to certain things, I'll know I am wrong, and I will find a way somehow to make myself right. I don't care if I have to change the argument. I will end it right.
Sometimes just for the sake of ending the argument, I'll just let it go and just walk away and be like, okay, you're right, you're right, you're right. And when I go around into my corner, I was still right.
A famous leadership author, Kenneth A. Wells, writes, "A good listener tries to understand what the other person is saying.
In the end, he may disagree sharply, but because he disagrees, he wants to know exactly what it is he is disagreeing with."
Most of us know at least one person who always has to be right.
Although Kayla says she always has to be right, there is someone special in her life who she gives a little leeway when it comes to being right.
So I find myself being one of those people that always have to get their point across and always has to be right. I have not disagreed with people to disagree, but if I feel that you're saying something that is not based on fact, I will try and get my point across to you. It is highly difficult for me to admit that I am wrong because I'm not a person that just talks to hear myself. If I'm talking, there's got to be a point behind it. And for me to admit that I'm wrong is hard because if it's based on fact or what I believe is true, then I don't feel as though I'm going to be wrong because majority of the time I'm correct. The person that I feel has to always be correct is my grandfather. He feels as though because he's reached up there in age and he's pretty seasoned that he knows everything. Even if you come outside and say the sky is blue, he'll say, no, it's not. No, it's not. No matter how many examples may be right in front of him, he just feels as though he's correct and nobody else matters because he's correct. At the same time, I don't blast out like, you're wrong, or what I'm saying is correct. Of course, I'm gonna be respectful to my grandfather. I wouldn't wanna argue with him and change his mood and make him angry or nothing, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to listen to what you have to say because you're so seasoned that maybe it's something that I didn't experience yet, that maybe I may experience. Even though I know that the sky is blue, I'm just open to everything he has to say because that's my grandfather.
Many of the teens on the street also had people in their lives who they feel always have to be right.
Next, they'll tell us about these people.
And also give their opinion on whether they think it's possible for two people to disagree on something and yet neither one of them is wrong.
Do you or do you know someone who always has to be right?
Yes.
Yes, I know people who always have to be right.
Yes, I do know someone who always has to be right.
Yes, my cousin.
My friend.
My mom.
My mother always has to be right.
My dad. He thinks he's smarter, but he's not.
I know a lot of people that always have to be right.
A lot of people.
They just don't think they're wrong.
They always argue their points, and like even if they're wrong like completely, they'll say the sky is purple, and I'm like, no, it's seriously blue.
Usually, I always want to be right, but if I'm wrong, I will admit to it.
Is it possible for two people to disagree on something, yet both of them not be wrong?
I don't think so.
That's crazy. Nah, that never happened. That never happened to me yet.
Yes, that is possible for two people to disagree on something and still be right on both parts.
Yeah, of course, because there's always two points of view.
If there's two answers to the question.
There are certain situations where it's your own personal opinion.
They're your opinion. Doesn't mean an opinion's never like right or wrong.
You could say that the water is cold and somebody says the water is hot, but like it's their own body temperature, it's their preference.
It's their own beliefs. You can't really be wrong if you disagree, unless it's a fact.